This episode of Doctor Who is brought to you by Crabs and Cats.
Cats.
That's all I really wanted to do. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Talktor Who. I am here with Jen and Moose.
Moose.
Nice to see you on the show again, Moose. Thank you for being here.
I'm glad to be back.
Yes, we missed you on the Shakespeare Code.
I was quite disappointed to have missed the Shakespeare Code, having gotten my Bachelor of Arts in English Literature.
Mm-hmm. Indeed. This episode we're talking about Gridlock, Season 3, Episode 3, directed by Richard Clark and written by Russell T. Davies.
Russell!
It has an IMDb rating of 8.1 out of 10. Moose, why don't you go ahead and hit us up with a synopsis?
Gridlock. The Doctor takes Martha to New Earth in the far future, only to find that an entire city has become a deadly trap.
Yes. And so what happens in this episode is basically New York is...
Wow.
I'm assuming that was 15.
Mm-hmm. Impressive.
Yeah, I try. It's become a plague zone, basically. And so for the past 28 years, the people that were living there have been stuck in gridlock in traffic to try to save their lives. But they didn't know that. And so they just thought that they were driving for 28 years, basically. All to do with this sticky thing that you can put on your neck.
It's a patch.
Instant emotions.
They're drugs.
And so this week's question for Facebook was, what mood would you buy if you could buy a mood?
Ooh.
I got a couple of answers. One of them was, here, let me pull it up here. Focused. Someone would buy focused. And because of finals week and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you
For
poor
school.
soul.
So, what would you guys buy?
Moose?
Ooh, what would I buy?
Moose is not a mood. I'm sorry.
No, I know. I was asking her first.
Oh, okay.
Maybe, perhaps, I don't want to say contentment because I am rather content with everything.
Contentment, not contemptment.
Right, content. Content. As
phone.
in, I am content with life. But perhaps something more along the lines... I don't know. Creativity. Let's up my creativity patch.
I'll accept that. Jen?
Yeah, kind of along the same lines of not really contentment, but more of a motivational patch and like a ability to I can get this done.
Yeah.
Kind of a thing.
So determination.
Determination.
That's
there
the
we
one
go.
I was going to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Determination. If you've never seen someone play Undertale,
Oh.
that's a great game. It's all about determination and stuff like that. So
I have not played that game.
yes, it's
Or seen it played.
very good. Trivia for this episode, brought to you by this piece of paper that's in front of me. The couple seen in the pre-credit sequence are made up to resemble the father and daughter in the Grant Wood painting, American Gothic.
You don't say.
Yeah.
Couldn't tell that at all.
Not at all. No. The Face of Bo's final message, finally delivered in this episode, was initially due to be given to the Doctor at the end of Doctor Who New Earth in 2006, but was removed and saved for this story instead because the death of two reoccurring characters in that story would have been too bleak.
It's true.
I quite agree with that.
In devising an appropriate aquatic monster, Russell T. Davies had considered both a Godzilla-like reptile and a giant octopus before using the macra, which, as we know, are crabs. Crabs.
I'm so excited that the monsters are just crabs in this episode.
They're crabs. This episode had a working title of Chasing Fumes.
Oh,
I kind of like that one, but it's called
interesting.
Gridlock. And for the last week or so, I've had the old Rugged Cross stuck in my head because of this episode.
Is that why I've had that song stuck in my head?
Yeah, probably.
Is it because I know,
yeah,
obviously
it's
it's
in this episode.
Obviously,
Yeah.
it is in this episode.
Funny
But-
story about that hymn. My grandmother used to sing it to my dad when he was little.
Oh.
And he had originally thought that she was saying the old rug that crawls.
It's coming to get
It's-
you. That old rug that crawls.
That's terrifying.
No. I thought that was the funniest
That's
thing.
really cute.
Yeah. Anyways, what did you think about this episode? We've come a long way already. I feel like I'm talking really fast.
That's all right. It was really funny. The announcer's name for the little intercom web thing that gave you the traffic report, her name was
sure.
Sally Calypso. Calypso is a sea goddess,
Mm-hmm.
and the main monster is crabs, and I just loved the tie-in. I don't know if Rusty did that on purpose or not.
Oh, he
but
would have had to.
Yeah, I wouldn't put
It
it,
was
past
glorious.
He's very thoughtful like that.
him. I would not put
I
him
just
past him.
really enjoyed that tie-in.
Not
Sure.
to mention Greek mythology is excellent to draw upon.
Agreed. And he does so quite a bit, I think.
Yes.
Probably. There's a lot to draw from there, both Greek and Roman.
I mean, is there anything scarier than a monster from Greek mythology?
Runaway Bride.
Well,
Spider.
Anyway, what'd you guys think?
I liked this episode. I remember when I first saw this, Face of Bo's final secret, as was told by the prophecy, that he would tell his final secret to a traveler as his final word. I thought that was a fantastic thing. I thought that was so gripping. And, like, maybe my jaw didn't drop, per se, but it certainly had that effect on me. It's like, what? What? Spoiler warning, by the way, if you haven't seen this episode, please do. It's a great episode, and I think that you should go watch it. But Face of Bo says that the doctor is not alone. That's what he says, and that's just like a mind blow, because all this time we've been told that he's the last of his kind.
right.
He's the last of the Time Lord, and he's, angsty about that. But Face of Bo says he's not alone. What does that mean? Nobody knows yet.
Well, clearly
Yet.
it means that Martha is with him.
I know.
Obviously.
Does it?
She was super salty in this episode.
Oh my god.
Did he mean that I'm with you?
No.
No.
No, Martha. No one cares about you. You've been here for like 3 This is your 3rd episode. Literally, you do not matter at this point in time. Let's just
Harsh.
wait a little bit longer until we get to my favorite episode, which is none of those. Which one is Human Nature and the Family of Blood?
Was this the first time that the doctor mentioned his homeland? Like, fully described it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know
I
if we've
think
ever
so.
gotten a description of Gallifrey before with its red grass and
Yeah, well,
Double
it's certainly
suns and-
that descriptive, but did we even get a name before?
I don't think so.
Did we get a name here? Did he say Gallifrey? No, I don't think he said Gallifrey.
he has said Gallifrey though earlier in the series.
Okay. I'll give you that.
But we've never gotten a good description of what it looks like. So
Very true.
from memory serving, at least especially in this reboot series.
It's true.
So I mean, who knows about Classic Who?
It's true.
Yeah. I mean, yeah,
Indeed.
they probably did do something in Classic Who. They probably even, like, went to Classic Who, or went to Gallifrey in Classic Who.
I would think so.
Yeah, I would assume. All right. Any other notes on this episode? I mean, this is a pretty straightforward episode.
I love the reappearance of the cat people.
I love the Scottish cat.
Yes.
Brannigan.
Brannigan.
He's my favorite. And that's the rest of the family back there.
All
It's a
little
bag of
kittens.
kittens.
A litter of kittens. The
You know what
logistics of
kittens-
that.
You know what Kitten's favorite Pokemon is? Mew.
Boo.
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 If there's 2 kittens,
Shut
then
your
it's
big
Mewtwo.
meowth.
We want both of you. I'm going to leave if you keep this up.
That was fantastic.
I actually borrowed that from Meowth.
That's okay. It doesn't matter.
Light is dragging me through the original Pokemon series for the first time.
Very
and it's
nice.
glorious. Speaking of firsts, has this been the first time that the doctor's been told no? Because Brannigan and his wife totally just, like, the doctor's like, we need to get down there. And instead of being like, oh yeah, we'll take you, they're like, nope, children. And he didn't even consider the kids. Now, granted, they're kittens, but still, like,
True.
I don't know. it feels like the first time to me where somebody's actually refused to go along with the doctor.
I would say
I don't.
I don't know.
I don't. I'm gonna say no to that because in this particular instance, the doctor is just so heavily dependent on being in a vehicle, whereas in the past, if someone told him no, he would just keep on running and go on without them.
That's true.
Whereas in this episode, he literally has like no choices, except when he finally says, "All right, then I'm just gonna jump from car to car."
Yeah.
Which was really fun.
With this convenient hatch that happens to be in both the top and bottom of all cars.
Well, where there's a will, there's a way. Mm-hmm. I love the return of the face of Bo. Mm-hmm. Great to see that big old face again. You hang in there, you big old face. Probably my favorite line in the entire episode.
So I think, speaking of the face of Bo, I think that there's a question that doesn't get answered ever, but I think it kind of gets touched on in this episode, where there's a story of this woman who stood out in the fumes for 20 minutes and her face grew to be huge.
Oh!
Do you think that this is the reason why his face is so big?
No, because he was like that beforehand.
But was he?
In the cat hospital.
But, that's true, but it was still the same cars, same fumes, same...
But the motorways would have been open. They wouldn't have been enclosed like they were.
That's
Yeah.
true.
They were quarantined.
That's true. But he is a time traveler.
And he has a very familiar looking bracelet.
Mm-hmm.
To touch on fan theory moves.
I'm just going to say that on the great wide interwebs, what they say is that because of who he is and how he can no longer die,
Except for he did
supposedly. Well, he can keep regenerating for a while, okay? He doesn't fully every time, he dies.
Bite the dust. Completely go out.
But it's said that the reason why like his body disappeared was because of how like he can respawn essentially, and so drawing on that kind of energy just would have like depleted the rest of his body except for his head.
See, I heard it was because he was beheaded by a certain group of assassins.
Also, I've heard that as well.
Okay.
Which does come up later. Mm-hmm. It's very true. Mm-hmm. Both could be.
Mm-hmm. Lots of different theories on this subject.
Anyways.
Yes.
Jen, anything else?
Not particularly. The last thing that I had on here was that the doctor never sits still, and like the next time he was gonna be able to get away from a car would be in 6 months, and the look of sheer terror on his face just kind of made me go, "Oh,
Yeah,
he still can't sit still for the
he
life
still
of him.
can't. I mean,
Hundreds of years old and has no patience."
Yeah,
I like the fact of he's finally in a car and he's like, "Oh, I should go get the TARDIS." You think?
yeah.
Right?
You moron.
Well, you could have done that before you got in. No big deal.
It's true.
He doesn't usually think about doing things.
Also, couldn't the TARDIS have been an alternate power source rather than the face of Bo's like last little
Also true.
thing of
Which
energy?
is what I thought about as Bo is there dying, but the doctor didn't have a way to get to the TARDIS quick enough.
That's true.
Can't the doctor summon the TARDIS? I thought he could, but
He did once.
I don't know.
I don't
Or
think
does the
he's...
TARDIS choose to be summoned?
It's something like that. Also,
It
I don't
is
think
a
he
live
has-
creature, I suppose. Technically.
I don't think he has that setting on his sonic screwdriver yet.
Okay.
Yeah, because right now he can't open the door by snapping his fingers yet.
Oh.
Later he can.
Needs an upgrade.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Very true.
Gotcha.
Or
Anyways,
he's just old-fashioned.
that's true. Anyways, next episode is Daleks in Manhattan. When we go to the regular New York, the old New York.
1930s, New York City.
Yeah. And we find Daleks and piggies that go wee, wee, wee all the way home.
And everybody talks like this.
Mm-hmm.
It's New
I
York.
expect that in that episode you will be talking like that the entire time.
I mean, probably. I've had a character like this before.
The very talented Moose.
All right, Lynn, thank you. All right, this has been Talktor Who. Thank you very much for joining us this week. Hope you catch us next week, and we'll see you later.